Ahoy, hoy, friends, and welcome to the Salon. Sarcastic Vulcan salute. That's right. Tonight we are talking about Star Trek Lower Decks. Super excited to get into it. But before I can get into it, let's get some boys in here to get into it. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just give myself one of these already.
Problematic gay alert.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Oh, whoops. I didn't see you there.
Speaking of mess, Will, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Hello.
I used that bit already. Listen.
Oh, that's right.
That mine was actually genuine. I didn't know I was being introduced next.
I love when I'm like, okay, we're gonna start now, and then you all stop paying attention.
Well, I don't know what to. There's no order you bring us on in. You just randomly bring us in.
There's literally 7 of us tonight. Figure it out. Oh, no, I can't.
I don't want to. You're not my real dad. Leave me alone.
I can't even count. Hi, Benji.
Hi.
How are you? How's Canada?
I'm great.
Are you all as excited for our election to be over as we are?
Well, it's distracting me from the hellscape that's happening here now. So thank you for enabling that, by the way.
Pleasure. Speaking of
enabling.
Hello to my co-host, Trevor. How are you? How are things?
Hey, girl. Hey. Welcome to Boys Night at the Salon.
Yes, that is right. When I said there were 7 of us earlier, that's because I cannot count. There are only going to be 5 this evening. It's a sausage fest.
Dick's a swinging.
Whoosh. Hello, everybody. Super jazzed to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks. Before we do, though, I do want to share a fun little announcement by sharing a little bit of bonus content. That's right. We have a Patreon. It is live. We have a free tier. Please join it. Patreon.com/Salon Trek. We do, of course, have a $2 and $5 tier if you'd like to support the salon, help defray some costs. Definitely appreciated. But joining the free tier, you can participate in polls, and we've got some other things that we're going to be putting together in the near future. And by near, I mean at least 20 days from now, when I have the headspace to do anything new in my life that isn't work or the bare minimum of this salon. And we have bonus content each month. Last month, we did commentary on Devil's Due, my comfort episode. This month, I have to warn you all, it's going to be a bit of a disaster trying to make it happen because we are going to be covering Disaster. Trevor, our disaster of a co-host's comfort episode, will be the October surprise, the October bonus content for our $5 Patreon supporters. So sign on up. Don't be a disaster. Join our Patreon. Several more puns using that word will be coming. Should we talk about Star Trek? No. Trevor.
Disaster.
For those playing a drinking game at home, Maverick. Disaster. Let's get into Star Trek Lower Decks. Y'all, season 5 next week. Tragically, the last season. But there's hope for more Lower Decks in the future. Perhaps streaming movie. Watch Section 31 the second it comes out and rewatch it to let them know we want more of this. Watch and rewatch Prodigy so we get a 3rd season of that, and watch and rewatch Star Trek Lower Decks. I've got Lower Decks on in the background now. We're going to be getting into it each week. So tonight we thought we would take a little trip through the origami machine or whatever it was called. The episode is literally on right now and I cannot remember what it's called. The chronogami. We're gonna take a hop through the chronogami to talk about seasons 1 through 4. Shall we? Shall we go for it?
I may have done a little too much LDS before I jumped on here, so bear with me.
That's all right. That, by the way, is my mom's favorite joke in Star Trek because we grew up LDS. I grew up LDS. My sister got suckered into it. My dad still is. My mom never did. And when we were watching Star Trek 4 and Kirk says to explain Spock's behavior, he did too much LDS in the 60s, and Jillian says LDS, she cackles every time. My dad hated it, and that made me love it. Y'all, let's get into Lower Decks. Before we do, though, there's something we have to do first. In fact, it's where we get our name. The Salon comes from Lower Decks, season 3, episode 6, the Deep Space Nine episode. You cannot waste the wax. You have to set an intention, otherwise it's just a waste. So let's do that. Let's set an intention.
Let's. So, in honor of the season 5 trailer reveal that apparently Harry Kim gets a promotion, finally, yay!
Ugh, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not muted.
It's okay. Your whatevers rarely are. In honor of Harry Kim's promotion, I thought it would be fun if we went around the room and talked about the promotion in Star Trek that we never got to see that we wanted to see. It can be one where the promotion actually happened, it just happened off screen and you wanted to see the ins and outs of it, or it can be somebody who should have gotten a promotion that hasn't gotten one on screen yet. As always, I will begin our trek through promotions by revealing that the promotion I most wanted to see or want to see and could potentially still see is the promotion of Colonel Kira Nerys to General Kira Nerys. I would very much like to revisit Deep Space Nine for a number of reasons, but I would also like to see her in command of the entire sector, commanding it from her post on Deep Space Nine. And I just think it would be wonderful and lovely and all of those things because hashtag Kira is amazing. Also, read Dinah's book. It's wonderful. So let's go around the room. We will start right next to me. Benji, my dear, what's the promotion you most wanted to see that you never got to?
So fucking Star Trek depicts everybody as being hyper competent, which makes me feel great about myself. So there is a little known character who I identify with quite a bit, named Celeste. She was the Bajoran officer on Voyager, who was like one of the fuck ups that Janeway took on a field trip. I just really identify with her because she like clearly has ADHD that is not being diagnosed or treated. So like if somebody gets promoted, I want them to work for it. Like I want, I don't care if any of the Enterprise bridge crew get promoted because like, of course they will. So I would like to see her neurodivergence be embraced and for her to be able to embrace her skills and get promoted based on that after working her ass off and learning about herself, et cetera, et cetera. Like I feel I have conquered my not conquered, embraced my neurodivergence.
I love that. Also,
Celeste.
that episode did kind of prove that on the surface level, she did not appear quote unquote competent. But when put to the test, she rose to the occasion.
Yep.
I love that. Wonderful. William, perhaps you could unmute yourself and tell us a story.
Sorry. I was being polite and keeping myself muted. I have to be honest. I kind of don't care who gets promoted, but I did think it was weird that Riker was still a captain in Picard, and it would be nice to see him get promoted because I think Beverly was an admiral. So it was kind of weird she was an admiral, but then
Commodore.
a Commodore, correct? Yeah. So it would be nice to see
Stated as one. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she had one. So it would be nice to see Riker promoted to admiral or something, because he was still technically a captain. But yeah, it was weird. He was still a captain, but like Geordi was a Commodore, Beverly's a Commodore, and But yeah, no, Riker, because did think it was weird he was still captain. But other than that, I kind of don't care. I just hope that this whole bit with Harry Kim, with him being a lieutenant, is actually that he's still an ensign, and that's how they know he's a different one
I hope
because
so
he's a
too.
lieutenant. Anyway, I just don't care. I just think Harry should just continue to be an ensign forever. But I'm a petty bitch, so that's on me.
Also, it's just kind of funny that he's still only a lieutenant. Like at this time, like upon return, there should have been at least a promotion of 1 grade, and then several years later, he's not a lieutenant commander yet.
Yeah,
So
I like it. I do like the narrative, the kind of like the narrative that he's kind of just a mediocre employee. Like he's not
Right.
terrible, but he's not great either. So he's just kind of like middle of the road. And it's just like you'll be a lieutenant junior grade forever. Like you won't get any. You might get past it, but that's it forever.
Mediocre can describe the character, the actor, the story. Promotion, begrudgingly granted.
The Janeway impression.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Riding that through every convention appearance.
clearly he's never heard Will's impression, or he would stop
no,
doing
clearly not. My impression of Katharine Hepburn, that is Catherine Janeway.
That is dying under a bridge.
Hey,
I will have to say, I actually think that it would be fun to see Ensign Gates get a promotion.
A
Does
promotion?
everyone get a promotion? I think she deserves a promotion. Just because, like, you do see her in the background in several different division uniforms, so she's clearly a very competent. She's not just a helmsman, and I just think that she's neat.
Which one is Ensign Gates? The one that they put in whore makeup for the Delphine episode?
No, Ensign Gates, the one, I don't remember if she was in whore makeup, but she's the black woman that's always at the helm.
Oh, not the woman I thought I was talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. She's the one who she's the in Night Terrors, I think it was. She forgets how to do the helm because nobody can fall asleep.
Maybe because she never has a speaking part, but she voices over herself sometimes.
Yeah,
which is a weird like workaround that they have
But
to do.
I think that episode was Ensign Rager.
Yeah, I think that was Ensign Rager.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm just.
Are you being problematic?
A little bit. Sorry.
No, actually, the actresses do look similar. As it's not.
Wait, now I want to check.
Well, as long as other white people agree, I'm fine. Jokes. This salon is canceled. Goodbye.
I'm
saying Ensign Gates.
Fair resemblance.
And getting out of this before I'm.
Oh, good. It comes to me.
Well, enough of this promotion.
I'm just gonna keep digging. I am surprised that Matt didn't take my answer because the one that I would like to see is Admiral Janeway. We went from the end of Voyager to seeing she's an admiral in Nemesis. I have always felt like I love Endgame, but I have always felt that they really did the show dirty and the characters and the actors by not giving them a real closing moment, a la Poker Table. I think the most appropriate, given the circumstances, would have been a Janeway speech, even over the comm, even her by herself in her ready room, maybe saying thank you and goodbye. Because like we're gonna land, we're gonna go through some shit. We will likely not be together as a crew for a while, if ever again. Like they deserved that kind of moment, and that could have easily turned into like a 2 months later, like, hey, your debriefing is all done. You've had some time off. We've reviewed all your logs. Holy shit. We're not going to talk about the Tuvix of it anymore, but overall, you did great. And also, I would have killed him too. Here's another pip. And that's exactly how it would go. They would just chuck her a pip and be like, get to a desk, Admiral. Because I know how to write a good story. Matt, just keep your mouth open like you're about to say something for about 10 more seconds. Go for it. Wait. and go.
This is just because I actually looked it up. This is a fun factoid for everyone. I feel terrible that Robinson, like the actress Robinson that plays Ensign Gates, has never actually been able to say anything. Every single time her "I, sir," it is voiced by some just unknown actress that they just keep dubbing in every time.
Oh.
They have to have her say "I, sir." In one episode, it happens 6 times that they just dub her.
Do they
It's
say
not
why? Is it
funny.
they just didn't want to pay her because she was supposed to be background?
I think it's because she's not allowed to speak because of the guild, the actors guild. She's not allowed.
What is that? Okay, this is an aside, but I've always wondered about that because like you'll always hear like an ensign saying like "yes, sir," but they won't. It's like they're not mic'd. It's like way in the background.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, what is that?
I don't know, but
Is it just so they don't have to pay them?
in Descent
guess,
Part 2, in
as an actor?
Descent Part 2, Memory Alpha has a thing that says during this episode, an unknown actress provided the words "I, sir" 6 times for her.
It's probably cheaper to pay a voiceover separately.
It's probably the same
Fuck
voiceover
off.
they use. They just keep plugging it in.
Yeah.
Like every time they have to. But she
Oh my
does get
God.
to be with Worf's Mokbara, where she looks utterly bored. But anyway, sorry. I just
Wouldn't
thought that
you?
was really fun because like her entire thing, she's in like 24 episodes. Like she's in a lot of episodes. She's a recurring, and she never gets to speak. And every time she says "I, sir," it's an unknown voice actress. So they can't even credit the voice actress. Sorry, that's off topic, but entertainment.
So if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Salon. We're discussing Ensign Gates from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Does everyone
we're
know
gonna
where
talk
her
about
name came from?
Really? I think we can guess.
She snuck onto the property by leaping over the
She
Paramount
literally
gates.
did. She broke through the Paramount gates. Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna put you in the
I'm done.
movies, kid. And starting with television. Trevor,
What?
you were gonna say something, or can
No,
I?
I wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
All right. More awkward segues, y'all. As soon as this election's done, I'll be able to like have brain cells left. But I am dragging today, and so my apologies for not giving you my usual
How dare
whatever I usually give. Anyway, let's talk about our top thoughts about Star Trek Lower Decks. Seasons 1 to 4. What do we think? Simple, easy question. 30 seconds. Matt, go.
Great, 10 out of 10. Love them. There's some hit and misses for me. I do think that they start strong, and there's a little up and down, but I think that's every episode of everything. So, you know, a lot of Sovereign class. We love to see that. You know, we got the Obina class, which now we get a physical model of, which is fantastic. Yeah, great fun romp. The right era, the right sets. It does it for me. That's
Will.
Okay. Season 1 is okay. Season 2 and 3 are really good. Season 4 dropped off for me. I felt like that one was the one I was like, let's get it going. Like I was getting a little bored. But no, it's great. I think it's kind of funny that we get like Prodigy is kind of like a spiritual successor to Voyager, and then Lower Decks feels like a spiritual successor to TNG for some reason for me. So like I need like a spiritual successor to DS9 and now 1, 2, like Enterprise. And it'll be good. And we're getting kind of a successor to Discovery with Academy. So anyway, no, it's fun. Didn't catch me, caught me, and then started losing me. Sandwich.
Benji.
Benji. Good. I like it. It's a good show. It really is like a love letter to the TNG era. Not just because it's set there, but just like, I mean, you have to hand it to them, like all the digging they've done to give us like every Easter egg imaginable, every reference. Yeah, it's incredible. It's a gift, and like we're lucky to have gotten 5 seasons.
Trevor.
I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is. And I know that sounds like incredibly, I don't know, negative for someone like me, but I thought it would be fun and whimsical. I wasn't expecting to actually care about the characters. I wasn't expecting them to develop and for me to be curious about their backstories. And all of those things happened. This is a genuinely fantastic and unique chapter in Trek that I think will stand out and be distinct, which is redundant. But years from now, when it's over, when season 5 is over and the show has either moved on to the occasional movie or just is no longer, and we have to rely solely on watching it on rewatch, I think it'll be remembered very differently. I think it's very popular now just because of its humor, but it tells some really great stories. It tells it's some really fantastic sci-fi while making fun of all of those things. That takes talent. It's a special skill, and I certainly don't have it, so I appreciate that others do and are giving it to us because I do love Trek, but as I wrote in my bio on our website, salon.com, no, salontrek.com, I don't just love Trek, I love the Trek universe. So I want to see every facet of it, every angle of it. I want to see things in Starfleet, out of Starfleet. What's going on that planet? I love the whole kickoff of the series was around Second Contact and the idea of revisiting these wacky planets that we visited with these incredibly bizarre stories in season 1 of TNG. But going back to them and seeing what's been going on since they were just sort of left alone after Picard decided we couldn't help them and we moved on. It's fun and yeah, I'm rambling because I really, really enjoy it. Didn't expect to as much as I did, and I'm sad that it's going, but all good things.
Indeed. I also love this show. I love all Trek, of course, but there is something special about Lower Decks. I think as it was coming out, I was cautiously optimistic. I was like, oh, this is something new. I love it when Star Trek does something new. And at the same time, I was a little worried because I love Rick and Morty, but at the time it was like, oh, a Rick and Morty Star Trek. I'm like, I don't need you to be completely reverent for Star Trek, but being that irreverent to the universe itself, I thought might be a bit much. And then, of course, that's not what Lower Decks ended up being. It really is a love letter to Trek. It makes fun of Trek in a way that is truly loving. I felt the same way that others have expressed, like the first season I really enjoyed, but 2 and 3 got a lot better. I really enjoyed season 4. I liked how they moved into not really season long storytelling, but there was a season long bit that was going on, which I think in and of itself is sort of poking fun at newer Star Trek going with the season long arcs. Although I mean, Deep Space Nine and Enterprise certainly did it as well. So it just weaves it in really nice. The music is really lovely. I love this theme song. It is it's so emblematic of 90s Trek, but it's still fresh. And the visuals are incredible. The peanut hamper mathematically mathematically perfect redemption episode where she's not actually redeemed has some incredible space battles in it and like different kinds of weapons than we've usually seen. So it was nice. Like I understand budgets being what they are, but seeing different kind of weaponry, you can do that in animation. So that was cool. And the ships are just awesome. We got the Obina class, we got the California class, of course, and so many other fun things. And I'll just end this bit on I just love the characters. I love our core group, plus Talin now has been a wonderful addition, and all of the background characters, whether it be Barnes, who pops in once in a while, Jennifer. It looks like we're going to get Jennifer back in season 5, so that'll be interesting. And yeah, this is the Trek that brought us together. We are called the Salon because of Star Trek Lower Deck. So special place in my heart from now and evermore. And those are my top thoughts. And that's our show. Good night, everybody. Just kidding. I am curious. I want to hear about y'all's favorites. Your favorite episode, your favorite story, your favorite character. Let's just roll all the way through it. Let's talk about these characters. I want to hear who your favorite characters are. Let's start with Trevor. We're just going to do a circle jerk of questions since it's just us boys tonight.
Push the button.
Give me a second. I need an EP.
Problematic gay alert.
And probably be prepared to push it again, because my so I didn't expect to love Mariner as much as I do, but I have completely fallen for her, and I think it's really, I'm also falling for Tawny at the same time, which is very strange. But I'm obsessed with both the character and the actress. But I mean, it's probably not a surprise. Samantha Rutherford is the hottest animated character ever, and I love Eugene Cordero to bits, all of the bits.
Pillboy.
Emphasis on his bits.
Problematic gay alert.
I'm not gonna lie, he's my, like, everyone is entitled to one crush per series, and he's my Lower Decks crush. Not gonna lie. Yeah, Samantha's story, I was not anticipating the whole thing with his implant, and that the Section 31 of it all, and just everything that went on with the red light and the blue light and all of the crazy Rutherford madness. So I particularly enjoyed all of that, but just his obnoxious optimism just has a special place in my heart and is adorable and fantastic all at the same time. So yeah, those are my two favorites. Love me some Beckett Mariner, love me some Samantha Rutherford. Also just love his first name. Anywho, moving on.
And for this round, we don't need to actually go in a circle. Why don't Trevor, you pick somebody to go, and then everybody will be like, your turn now.
Well, now you've made it uncomfortable. Only because he's waiting for something to fall in his mouth like a baby bird. Matt.
Have you met Matt? Of course.
Yeah, that was like a baby bird. Mm-hmm.
I have.
That's what I was emulating.
I have been in a gay club with Matt, so yes, I'm familiar with that face. Go.
Problematic gay alert.
Mine, I'm curious if this is a surprise to anyone. My favorite character introduced is actually Carol Freeman. I unironically love that we see someone who is clearly very competent at her job. She is a good captain, but she's not like the best captain. You know what I mean?
She's better than Captain Pike.
Right. Like she's not what you would normally think of a Starfleet captain. Kind of actually what Benji was saying too of Ensign, I forget what her name is. Cito? No, not Cito. Celeste.
No, Cito's dead.
Cito was all right.
Bummer.
R.I.P. But like
Too
there's
soon.
something about like you see a Starfleet captain that has gone through, has her own ship, but like clearly not on the trajectory of the flagship. Like she's not worried about fighting with Picard to get that. But still does a really great job, and she has some really standout moments where like you remember that she is the captain for a reason. And I just really love Carol Freeman. I think she's a fantastic addition and such a good character. And a foil, but like a parental foil to the cast that's like, God damn it, I have to figure this out and fix their shit. Oh right, I'm picking someone. Benji, because I brought you up already.
Oh my god. Yeah, I hate to be repetitive, but like I've found like through the course of the series, like I think in the first season was like really identifying a lot with Samantha Rutherford. But I keep coming back to Mariner, I think for a few reasons. I like that we have this unusual combination of somebody who is, again, a typical Starfleet officer who is hyper fucking competent, but is just like resistant to the Starfleet thing. I think Tawny Newsome is like brain damagingly hilarious. Like, I love that Jennifer exists because of an improv on her part. And so we ended up with what I thought was a hilarious line in the first season. And then we get an arc based on this riff. Her chemistry with Jack Quaid is off the charts. Like, you really see it in their live action episodes. So I hope they keep doing something together. And again, I think we will see Lower Decks in some form somewhere. But yeah, like, people have complained that her arc, she hasn't developed enough over her arc. I kind of disagree. I actually really appreciate her course and her path. So yeah, but we'll talk about what we want for season 5 later, because I got some more to say about that. Oh yeah,
I'm the last one to get picked. I'm the last one to get picked for basketball. Great, thank you so much, everyone. Fuck yourselves.
You said pissed, and I was like, I swear to God, this guy is gonna say I'm the last to get pissed on, and this is not that kind of salon.
In fairness,
twice in one night with the piss stuff.
It came up earlier today, and it's been on my mind begrudgingly. Somebody on Scruff asked me a gross question, and I had to get off of it immediately. Anyway, Will, who's your favorite character?
I think, well, like, I am become very endeared to Boimler. Like, I think it's funny that he's like very book smart, but like a frazzled little man child is really funny to me. But I will say that from the last season, I think it's T'Lyn. I think the way they've written the character, the kind of dry humor, the way she's kind of filled. Though I think the original 4 characters were great altogether, I think having a 5th one, I think, kind of adds a dynamic that I don't know if we were missing, but I think was really welcomed in the 4th season. So I would say Boimler and T'Lyn. And I think it's cool Boimler has purple hair, and we've never addressed it. Whether he dyes it, whether it's part of his species, nothing. He's just got purple hair.
He said he dyes it.
Yeah.
Oh, he dyes it? Oh, okay.
You know?
Isn't he just a human?
But
he's human.
Yeah.
He is not from Hawaii.
What do you mean, just a human?
Yeah, no.
Being a human's fucking boring.
Boring, basic ass, no ridge human.
Just a human?
Well, you don't know if he has a ridge.
Oh, God.
Problematic gay alert.
Big mushroom ridge.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Problematic gay alert.
There you go.
Boimler is super cute, and Jack Quaid is adorable. I love Beckett and Boimler together. I love that they've got a beautiful, absolutely clearly and only platonic friendship. Like, I've been on this rant with other shows. I just love seeing that in the zeitgeist, and I love that it's Star Trek that's helping provide that as well. We've seen that with Deep Space Nine and Voyager to a lesser degree, but there's not even, my recollection of the first 4 seasons, there's not even a hint of will they, won't they. There's a little bit with Tendi and Rutherford, which is really cute. but yeah, the main four plus Talin have been lovely. I agree with Matt. Captain Freeman is great. I think she's better than some other captains we've seen, including some I've named this evening. But she's also just a fun, capable captain of a California class. It's just fun to see. And I also want to shout out like the guest stars. I especially loved the Betazoid trio from the BIA, which is or the BIS. Was it the Betazoid Intelligence Agency or Service?
Agency.
Agency, yeah, the BIA then. It was great. I love that we got those three women to be a part of Star Trek. I doubt it will ever happen, but it would be hilarious if they were at STLV or other conventions. But yeah, the voice talent on this show is incredible, including the folks that randomly get in for an episode here and there. Mark Evan Jackson, Carl Tart, Paul F. Tompkins as Miggly Mo, him getting pissed at the replicator. Like I'm just naming every character at this point. But I will say my favorite is probably Boimler. He's the one that I identify the most with, probably of any Star Trek character. I'm like, oh, this is me, or what I want to be. He's adorable and really earnest, and it's just lovely to see him in all of his silly glory. And those are our favorite characters. And this is where a video would flash if we had an executive producer and
or a budget.
Here's that doesn't make any sense.
Ooh, but wait, we can. You probably have an outline of what you want to do. Never mind.
Not really.
Favorite ship, because that's a fun thing.
You know what? That's not on the list. Yes. Okay. Hey, ask your question and kick it to somebody to answer first.
Will.
Hey, everybody. Here's Matt with our next question.
I want to know, because it's animation and you don't have to build physical models, what everyone's favorite ship that was introduced in Star Trek Lower Decks has been, because we've had a lot of new ones, or some that were, pitched but never executed. The Romulan ship.
That was going to be mine, damn it.
You can still be your favorite. I'm just giving examples. So what is everyone's? Will, you get pissed on first this time?
Oh, thank you so much.
You get the yellow stuff.
Oh God, great. Yellow alert. Ships. Yeah, I honestly really do like the Cerritos a lot, the California class. Like, I remember when there was like a random, someone's like, oh, here's this ship from Lower Decks, and it was some like TNG looking thing. And then I remember Mike was like, no, wait till you see our ship. And then I remember the Cerritos being like, oh, I like that better because it kind of gives me like Oberth vibes in some ways with the separation of like the nacelles and all that. And like, I don't know. I honestly really like the Cerritos. But I will say, I am not a fan. I have serious issues with animated starships because they look weird to me, and they always make the phasers weird, and it drives me nuts. It's always a solid. Well, so like Prodigy's guilty of this in Lower Decks to a certain extent. It's like, instead of it being like phasers always looked fuzzy to me on the shows. Like they always looked kind of fuzzy, and these are they're very like hard beams of color basically, and they're like a little too lasery. Anyway, it's very nitpicky, and also torpedoes are too slow. But like that's a Picard attack.
I was
but
just
like
gonna
I don't
say,
know.
Which is fair.
You fire 4 torpedoes, it takes 15 minutes for them to get to you. Yeah, but no, I like that. I like all the ships that they brought in. And I really liked when they brought the Titan in, and it was just like this psychotic rampaging monster, which was really funny. But in season 1. But yeah, I would say the Cerritos. I really like it. It's grown on me a lot. Benji, tell me about your ships. How big is it? How many nacelles?
I like huge 2, of course. And it's Canadian. And it's the Parliament class, which is a legitimately like gorgeous starship. Like I was actually really surprised to see it because I was like, I think this is my new favorite class. At least it was at the time. There we are. So we have the Vancouver and we have the Toronto, and I am waiting for the USS Winnipeg, Mike McMahon, because that's
circle the pylons, Stan. Circle the pylons.
The pylons of my
The USS Montreal is going to be big and thick and uncut. Anyway,
definitely uncut.
I heard things about people in Montreal. Never mind. We're continuing. Sorry.
No, you're correct. You're correct.
I gotta go to Montreal.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Anyway.
Big red head on that nacelle.
There you go. Beautiful. I like it. It's cool. I like that it's
I like that it's like, yeah, I like that it's weird and like awkward looking and dorky.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, here's some pieces of some shit we slapped together. Like, and you can see the lineage of some of the stuff. Like, it does look like it's got a little bit of like the NX class in there. It's got a little bit of like
but also like when I first saw the show, like you get that deflector coming at you, it hits you in your TNG nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The saucer always made me think like they were Galaxy class knockoff. Like they're like, we're not gonna make this one as big, but here's no, let's just go back to the Ambassador class. Just an actual saucer. Here you go.
Store brand saucer section.
And
not get name brand here.
But the pylons also make it look like one of the tugs, like the warp tugs.
Yeah.
You see? So I like that. That's like, obviously they have said that that's why they did it, but like it does. It just looks, and the Farragut of Strange New Worlds. Oh my God, Jadzia is she has a lot to say tonight
about starships. Yeah,
she does. She has a lot of opinions on starships and dinosaurs.
Here's the Luna, the Titan.
Benji, you also have to pick your next victim.
Sorry, I keep forgetting who's left. Trev, did you go?
I did not go, but I think my favorite was just held up. I think the canonization of the Luna class was my probably my favorite. Although I was quite fond of the oversized and enhanced Excelsior variant that appeared in, now I can't remember what.
The Obina class.
Yeah. Which is going to be a future model.
Model, yeah.
Yeah, they announced finally what ships are going to be beyond the first 3 that they're doing, and the Obina class is going to be one of them.
It was Captain Gomez's ship, was it not?
The Archimedes.
So yes, I was quite fond of both of those.
I agree. I love these 3 ships that I've been throwing up on the screen. I'm a big fan of what I call the sled classes. I also love the Walker class, the Shenzhou. So these are all really cool. I unironically also love the Cerritos. I think it fits exactly with the vibe that they're going for. I love second contact being a thing, and like here, California class. They'll do it. Super great. But also, as mentioned earlier, I love seeing the Romulan Warbird as it was originally intended to be show up in Lower Decks last season, which was very cool. The original concept art had it exactly like that, and for some reason, somebody back in the 90s was like, no, invert that shit. And I love the Warbird. I do. The Dederadex class, I do. But seeing it as it was originally intended was lovely as well. Has everyone shared their favorite ship?
I think so, but we do need to acknowledge and give an apology / you're welcome.
We will never apologize for that. Have headphones in. Like, listen, this is going to be an admonishment on my part.
It's an apology / you're welcome. Like that was the gift that keeps on giving. Like you just walked into Walmart blasting
Yeah,
big and
yeah.
uncut.
Yes, and I'm going to add an admonishment because this is a pet peeve of mine on airplanes. Put on some headphones. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants
Girl.
to hear. I'm such a boomer right now.
Hey,
Girl, she's in
first of
Walmart.
all,
Let her do whatever she wants.
and also, we never turn down free marketing. The Star
Oh,
Trek
yeah,
Salon.
Yeah, like,
Star
if you're gonna-
Trek Salon. Go to
If you're gonna
Also,
blast it in a Walmart, hand out some like QR codes for
Yeah.
people to subscribe. Seriously.
Salon Trek on YouTube. Salon Trek on YouTube.
Oh my God, Jake the nerd. Hello, Star Trek on YouTube. Star Trek the Salon. Are we helping?
Listen,
You didn't
not
get
to-
it right at all there, but yes, thank you for trying.
not that we
The
don't
Trek
appreciate all of the work that Sohail is doing, but he's recruiting one subscriber at a time.
He is.
Yes.
Jake is hitting an entire Walmart in one evening.
That's
So
true.
Sal's just going on dates and recruiting people.
At least 3 of those people in Walmart can read.
Well, now we just lost him. Thanks, Matt.
Well,
Oh, if those kids could read, they'd be very upset.
And listen, glass houses. You live in Ohio, honey.
For now.
Nobody read it out loud. But this is hilarious. Sorry, Spotify listeners. You'll need to go to YouTube to see what we're talking about at this moment.
You don't want us to read this for you.
No.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Flavor to it too.
How about favorite similar, not exactly what we just put on screen, but similar vibe. Favorite gag, favorite Easter egg in Lower Decks. Who wants to kick this one off?
What does gag mean?
I don't know. In this case,
I have to show you.
Yeah, in
I
this
don't care if you
case,
push the button or not. I'm getting.
Oh,
it.
I got it. God damn it! I thought you were asking earnestly.
Know me better. Know me better.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I am tired. I'm doing 12-hour days lately, minimum, and all in spreadsheet. God, you guys are so demanding. Push the button. Push the button. Yes, sir.
Problematic gay alert.
I'm gonna buy you one of those stream decks where you can just poke it.
I have one, but it doesn't. I need to try it again. Unless I got rid of it. I did this stupid thing where, listen, we're going to talk about ADHD for a moment. I have a bunch of random.
Where are we?
I have a bunch of random bullshit in my apartment. Every once in a while, I look around and I think, this is insane. It's so much clutter. I think about the money that I've spent. Like, whatever. One of the things was a stream deck. I got a little stream deck because I thought, like, oh, this will be really cool. It's just 6 actual buttons to do whatever I needed to do, control the lights or whatever. It doesn't work well, or at least it didn't work well with Apple environment, which is what most of my devices are. And so if anybody listening to the Star Trek podcast is also a stream deck / Apple product nerd and can help me, please, dear God, help me. I need help and I can't afford the real help that I need. So if you can just help me with this one thing. And now I remember what I was actually going to say. I did a purge not too long ago where it's like, I'm not using this, get rid of it. And I think the Stream Deck may have been victim of that. And now I wish I didn't do it. And this is why I keep shit.
Do you have too much clutter? Do you sometimes go off topic? Welcome to the salon.
I never go off topic. This isn't a problematic ally alert, but it feels like this song is necessary.
You thirsty bitch.
In the arms of the angel.
Do you have clutter?
So technically, that's just the theme for the evening. It's you thirsty bitch.
Yeah.
Clutter.
Butter.
Anyway, favorite gag. That means joke in this case because nobody on this salon has a gag reflex.
Problematic gay alert.
It's just true.
Benji, you go first.
Okay, so my favorite gag, it's not really a joke. It's more of a okay. In the first season, they have like this like the ball of light that like craps out the tricorder for them. I fucking any episode of Star Trek with like a ball of light that torments people, and the fact that they made fun of that.
Yeah.
Just like that was, I think, the first time that I like really laughed hard watching that show. Because it wasn't like much of a laugh out loud show for me up until that point. It was just, I found it enjoyable. But yeah, the like the voice acting was really good on it, and yeah, it was funny. Glowy wisp crapping out a tricorder.
I find myself more likely to laugh out loud when I'm with other people. But when I'm watching it by myself, it's hilarious, but I don't laugh out loud myself much. I've
been laughing more as the seasons have been going on. I think it's getting more laugh out loud funnier.
My ADHD also catches while I'm watching because like there's some visual gags. Like I just saw one of when they had the reporter on the ship, the image that said Starfleet's shame, Captain Freeman. Yeah. Like it's fucking hilarious. Benji, who do you want to pass it to for favorite gag?
I'll pass it up
to Matt. Do you want to pass it to somebody else or just let the dead air hang longer?
You know, I'm enjoying this. Is my own gag now. Guess what? You gave me the microphone, and now I'm gonna do nothing with it.
So,
I really enjoyed at first the gag of nope, I lost it. I actually had one that I was thinking of, and I didn't think that Benji would call on me, and I've now lost it because I was playing with I tossed the toy to Jadzia. And
I'll vamp for you and share. I'll just share the.
I don't think it's
coming up on the screen. Captain Freeman's Chotskis and the argument that she gets in with the new captain about like taking something from the mission. Like, no, you take it. No, you take it, and it ends up being a spy device.
I was going to say the whole horny porpoises. I find that to be a funny gag because but I don't know if that's really a gag. I just really appreciate the way mine's a bigger one that I just really appreciate how they take all of these minor, tiny, dumb little TNG things that the props department clearly never thought would go anywhere. And we're like, just send them out. Like the Talin's instrument with the pipes that we see in one episode of TNG that's going to be in season 5 now, and like the reporters having the dumb like eye thing on from Generations, and there's just like I love the visual gags of them. They're not really gags because they're like trying to actually pull them back in, but I love how it's just this continuing theme of like the dumbest background things in TNG or anything in Trek that end up coming back in Lower Decks. I think that is genuinely my favorite. And then I will popcorn down to Trev.
I'm sorry, are we live? Am I supposed to talk now?
Also, they're not porpoises.
That was my Matt impression. No, they're not porpoises. They're, I believe they're belugas, but I could be wrong.
They're beluga whales, but like the horny porpoise thing is.
But one of my favorite aspects.
Thing.
Horny whale. One of my favorite aspects
of speciesing them.
Horny belugas is that one of them is named Matt.
Yes,
which is hilarious and appropriate.
And I think Matt was the one that told him to take his pants off too. So
and a cosplay opportunity for our very own Matt. I on the cetacean ops. I was going to say train, and that sounds wrong.
Does it?
In the same vein as everyone else discussing cetacean ops, when both Matt and the other member of cetacean ops, the other cetacean, commented on the fact that he was wearing shoes and how disgusting that was to jump in the tank wearing shoes. I thought that was hilarious. And just sort of the moral of the story, cetacean ops as a gag is hilarious. So love it. Love everything about it. But my favorite gag from all of Lower Decks actually happens on Strange New Worlds. And it's Boimler's little sassy walk.
Yes.
That Jack just sort of improved and it worked. And that coming through into the live action version of Lower Decks, just, I don't know. I found it adorable and hilarious. And the visual gag that just won't die. I loved it. Loved everything about it. And I'll call on Will.
My favorite, it's not one bit, but it's a category of bits where whenever we have a TNG episode where like the ship gets filled with slime or vines because someone gets possessed by an ancient alien probe, there's like the idea that they have to clean all that shit up. And there was like a couple of bits throughout the series. There was one I think was Ransom that got possessed. It was like very much like that really bad episode with Data where he has like the thing on his head. In that weird episode, TNG. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think it's like a season 7 episode. Yes, thank you, that one. And then they're like cleaning up vines.
Also did. Oh yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that was the joke. I like the joke that they're like, oh, we have to take all of these, we have to get rid of these vines and shit because it's like we have to replace parts of the ship are turned into wood and stones. We have to like replace it. That's really funny because then we don't see it because there's always the reset. But yeah, no, that's like my favorite bit where they have to like deal with the aftermath of the shenanigans. Anyway, that was it. Did you
cleaning up after holodeck shenanigans? The idea that they have
oh, that's true too. Yeah, the holodeck being like this weird, disgusting thing they have to pull out is really funny too. It's like yeah,
which is
that's
like
really funny.
Duh, of course. And I love that they just call it out like that. Captain Freeman's like, wait, people do that, and Rance is like, that's mostly what
mostly
people do.
that.
Yeah, it would be really funny. It would have been, that's a good joke, but I always thought it would have been funny if there was like someone who's literally like they pull a hose out of the wall and they're just spraying down the holodeck because it's,
yeah,
that reminded me of another gag that I love, which is when there's like a red alert, and I think it might have been that episode where they have that long warp where they all get a break. So everybody's like on the holodeck and stuff. So like everybody has to is rushing to their stations, but everyone's in like period clothing and like ski gear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I just thought of one of my other favorite jokes. It was the end of season 3 where they were like, why don't we just warp around it? Everyone like jumped down that person's throat. Like, what are you, crazy? Like that was probably the funniest joke.
I fucking love that one. That was season 2.
That is such a good, it is season 2.
With
Yeah,
Archimedes.
Take all the,
because it's so true. Like, oh, we can't get through this. It's 3D space. In every episode of Star Trek that they say that, I'm like, why don't you just go at warp 9 up a little bit, stop, turn, go warp 9 a little bit, stop, turn, and they all just yell at him. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah. Because it exists. There's a z-axis, and they just neglect to see that entirely. So like having a reference to it and that just being people like shut the fuck up is so funny.
And that was actually one of the first times that Dr. Aaron came in, because they mention her because as they're talking over each other, someone says, Dr. Aaron says you can't say that.
Yeah.
And that was one of the
yeah.
That she came in, and then obviously now we have Dr. Aaron in Prodigy doing the temporal theory 101.
Also, not necessarily a bit, but kind of a bit or a gag. Literally everything that Lieutenant Keishon says.
Yes,
true.
The metaphor,
having him as a character was hilarious and is hilarious, and I adore him.
There was There was one I was just trying to remember, but also quick backtrack. I don't know if I can show this or if you'll be able to see it, but this is just a still. Don't worry, copyright. You see these little background ships here? I also love those ships, those little arrow ships that like they're little tiny ones, and every couple of episodes when they're at a starbase, they're back there. I also love those ships. I wanted to throw that out there. But
Do we know what those are?
no, I don't think so. I just did a quick search. I need to do another.
Are they like the warp
Really?
delta from Enterprise?
They look
Hold
like
on.
that. They look like an updated version of those for sure. One thing that I also like, this isn't really a gag, but I love the visual callbacks. Like right now, on in the background here with me, it's the last episode of season 3 when they're all around the same kind of conference table that they had in Star Trek 6 with those weird lamps. So that's really cool.
I wanted those 12-year-olds, like queer little me wanted those lamps so bad.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And I love Admiral Buenamigo trying to entice Carol with like, here, you get this new uniform. Look at all these brass bars you get. It's like just subtle things. There was a gag that's in here, and I can't remember it. But there's so many funny, dumb little things. Like when they run into collectors and they have a bunch of visual stuff in their warehouse.
Norman for the win. Norman for the win with sensors.
Sensors, yes. Wait a minute, that's how you say sensors? That's weird. The opening credits changing. That is a great gag. Just adding something new each season. The little thing suckling on the nacelle. The show's fucking great. Uncancel it, Paramount.
I did think that was one of the things that I like when I first saw the show and first saw the opening. The fact that the ship is like at a battle and then just fucking nopes out and turns around. Just I lost.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. When you see that, they're like, yeah.
Like when it hits the mountain,
not
that
the
mountain on that
Enterprise.
asteroid. Yeah, hits it, and then the engines just start flickering out. Like, yeah, that's
Yes.
great. A great bet.
The D&D with knockoff Martok.
The VCR board game with
Yes,
knockoff,
it's
because it was knockoff Galron.
We need to play that as a salon.
Yes.
When we run out of new episodes.
I suggested that like a year ago, Stanley.
I remember. I know. I credit where due. This is Benji's idea, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This is
you.
Benji's good idea.
What? Who is
everybody.
moving now? Experience Beige.
I'd love that game.
Little
so
does he
much.
know, I've been trying to experience Beige and can't find any.
Push the button.
Oh, give me a second.
Yeah,
here.
give it yourself.
Problematic gay.
Wait a minute. So that one was for me, but then this one's for Benji saying you can do it to yourself.
Problematic gay alert.
It's a twofer.
I'll allow it.
Also,
Also, not to be the DS9er of the group, but whatever.
We all are.
The constant back and forth between Shax and Kira about like who owed who's live was hilarious.
Mhm.
I
like the joke too, that because Shax died and then he comes back and no one ever mentions it, and the one mention he's just like, yeah, it happens, don't ever talk about it. And it was get out of here. So
how
funny.
dare you?
Just, like, unspeakable things have happened. It was just, that was such a funny joke. It's like, oh, we killed this person off, and they're like, yeah, we'll just bring him back and just make a joke around it, which funny.
I rewatched that episode today, and as I was watching it, the Max Pally is the voice of the other Orion, and is like, oh, we're all pirates, right? Blah blah blah. And it turns out that he was adopted. He grew up on Earth. I don't know why it took rewatching it today for me to realize, like, oh, that's a Worf joke. Like, I don't I can't imagine they didn't intend it, but it was subtle enough that maybe not. But an alien adopted by human parents grows up in a random place, Cincinnati, Ohio, completely misunderstands the culture of a planet he did not grow up on. Kind of a dick. Am I not describing Worf? Did I lie? Did I lie?
No lies detected. Also, if you're just joining us for the first time, Matt does have a dog that he's occasionally playing with. It looks disgusting.
Yeah, I've noticed it several times. It like
He's just playing with his dog, and
Yeah.
that's not a euphemism.
that doesn't count.
No, it's not problematic.
Because
It's an important service announcement.
other favorite bits, jokes, things that stand out on Lower Decks.
Oh my
But
god.
Jadzia. We're getting a Jadzia.
Aw.
Pretty girl. Goodness.
She's being a complete
Jadzia,
pain in the
Tendy,
ass
and
tonight.
Walter.
Yeah, Tendy is asleep
And
on the
Rachel.
couch right
And
now.
Walter's the only friend she has ever made and actually had. So
Ah.
Yeah.
it's the only one she ever will.
I fucking love the whoever the hell thought of Boimler's family having a fucking raisin farm.
You mean a winery? No.
Just dry him and dry him and dry him.
Oh, everybody being in love with him.
God.
Like that on the farm. So fucking funny. Boimler, can you show me how to squeeze or whatever they say? And like, God, you just do it. He's so oblivious. It's so funny. Oh, Boimler.
Yeah, Lower Decks really has like a unique brand of humor of its own, where it's like there's a lot of stuff like that, like people like not picking up on like social or romantic cues. There's a lot of people who are like really nerdily enthusiastic about each other and people around them and doing stuff together, but they make it funny. It's just I love that it has its own like world of humor.
Let's also just fully admit and embrace, and this is someone who is also exceedingly neurodivergent. Like, Lower Decks is just filled with a bunch of neurodivergent and autistic people who are just excelling at life. Like, that's really what Lower Decks is. And it makes me so happy that, like, we're seeing so much more of an authentic view of the people that are really like successful in a hyper specific category, like being in Starfleet. Like, you have to be good at very certain things and then very bad at other things to be in Starfleet. Like, we've seen that, and that's why you have to rely on the people around you, and that's what builds this whole sense of camaraderie and everything. And it's so good to see in Lower Decks as like kind of the levity and humor of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just fantastic, and it hits me right in the chest.
All right, y'all. We got one more question before we land the ship with a final question.
Before we do what?
Just let it. Before we land the ship, we could land the ship.
William.
Mike, we could land the ship. Yeah.
That woke Tendy up. Hey, sweet girl. You want to come here?
Sorry about it.
Nope. She wants to go back to bed. All right. So I'm curious now about everybody's favorite addition to the Trek lore from Star Trek Lower Decks. We've talked about the California class as a ship, the second contact of it all. My favorite addition to the Star Trek lore, at least at this moment, I'm going to say Ferenginar joining the Federation due to the deft diplomatic skills of Captain Freeman, despite the bumbling admiral nearly fucking shit up. Captain Freeman saves the day, looks past the trickery, and Ferenginar is now part of the Federation, thanks to her. How about you all? Benji, do you have a favorite addition to the Trek lore from Star Trek Lower Decks?
The third Tucker tube.
The third Tucker tube? Yeah, that's great.
Third tube. The Billups tubes. Yeah.
Who do you want to pass it to next?
Trev.
The acknowledgement that to some people, Nick Locarno and Tom Paris look similar.
Dude,
But
they
not
look
for everyone.
identical. I don't know how you don't see it.
I don't see it.
Insane. Do I
have to pick someone?
I love that they left it like that. Incredible.
If you could pick somebody to go next, Trevor, that would be great.
I'll pick for you.
I should pick someone.
Just leave 15 seconds of dead air.
Okay. I can't do it, Matt.
See, you mentioned a couple really good ones right off the bat.
He's not ready again.
I was ready. My favorite edition, and this is gonna be, it's a little on the nose. I'm sorry, but I have to do it. That Carol Freeman pointed out that whenever a ship gets refit, it ends up looking a little more sovereign class.
Yeah.
And the fact that they then followed that up with the Obina class that just straight up as a sovereign deflector and sovereign nacelles, I really appreciated that as a little addition. Honestly, it would be like Ferenginar joining and like something more serious, but I'm gonna go with that. The only other piss fairy left.
Oh, Space Koala.
Oh yes,
that's my favorite one because it's so stupid, but like Space Koala.
Yeah,
but that's God in Star Trek, in the Star Trek universe's Space Koala.
Yeah, I know. I am so out of it. Benji, did you go? I'm so sorry.
I went, but I was gonna say, was the koala the thing that got crossed over with like solar opposites or something?
Yeah, it's a crossover with that, or I think it's or
Twin Peaks. Well, I haven't caught up with the room that, and he says it's not your time yet, Brad Boimler.
Yeah.
In the episode,
but it made it into another Mike McMahon.
Oh, okay.
Series. So there's like crossover happening there, which I like.
I need to catch up on that. I know Norman in the chat is saying O'Brien being the most important Starfleet officer ever. Badgie. There are a bunch of things that we haven't talked about. We just don't have the time. This show is excellent. The Orionness of it all. Oh my God. I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. Their names. I joke. So my dog is named Tindy. I had a couple of Star Trek names in mind, but after having her for 2 days, her energy and her curiosity made it very clear she is a Tindy. And I joke that her first name is Dog. I love that Tindy's family is, her dad is named Bert, and it never ceases. It will never not make me cackle out loud like a cartoon villain when her sister is introduced, because for some reason Erica is just the dumbest, funniest fucking name on the planet. Like she is Devana Tendi, Demono is her mom. Like, it makes sense, sounds alien enough, and then Erica. So fucking good. The show is so fucking good. Uncancel it, Paramount. All right, y'all. Let's land the ship. I don't. That was not my best Janeway, certainly. Let's land the ship.
Was that Bertha?
Secret hopes for. I need to.
Janeway were a lesbian trucker.
I need to get into another voiceover class because clearly I need work. Hopes for season 5. That's where we're gonna crash land this ship onto an icy planetoid. What are our hopes for season 5? I'll kick us off and say, obviously, I want Tendi back on the Cerritos. It'll be fun to see her swashbuckling pirate stuff. But you know, there are some threads that I hope they got. I hope they got word soon enough that they were able to do the story that they wanted to do as their final story, not just, you know, here's a 5th season, we're hoping for a season 6, and then, oh shit, a bunch of stuff gets left. Also, at the same time, it would be kind of a hilarious gag if there is a cliffhanger and the show ends on a cliffhanger, via like Alf style cliffhanger. Because some of the stuff, like it would be interesting to see what happened with transporter clone Boimler, but I also Norman Jinx. It would be interesting to see, but also if they don't wrap that up and they leave some mysteries, could be fun. Let us go in order and end with Trevor on this one. So Matt, what are your hopes for season 5?
I do want to follow up on that, and I think it would be hilarious if they say nothing about the Section 31 Boimler the entire time until the last like 10 seconds, and then he pops back up as this like, oh, he was something, and we have no idea. This is gonna sound cheesy, but I am going into it without many hopes, with an open mind. I really hope we get to see a good ending, a good, you know, I hope it's not the ending. I'm hoping it does get picked. You know, we've talked in other ones about how it could, you know, maybe they auction it off to Netflix like Prodigy was. But if it is the end, I hope that they send it away with the love that it deserves and with the story that they want to tell. I don't know. I just hope it has a good. If this is the end, I hope it's a good end. So I'm open to see what happens. I think it'll be fun either way. But I hope it does end well.
My hope. I mean, I like Matt. I'm kind of going in it without much expectation, but I like you, Stan. I hope that they got enough. Like, either I want them to have gotten enough notice to be able to write kind of a final episode, which is a little bit different from what the situation with Discovery is, because animation takes a lot more time to put together than that. And what but I kind of hope they ended on something stupid. Like, I hope it's like a dumb bit that they ended on and they're just like, yeah, that's where we're gonna end it. Because again, that would be really funny. But no, I just hope it's I know it's gonna be good. So I'm not like I don't have much that I'm like worried, excited, projecting for. I'm just more fun references and more like callbacks to dumb Trek things that make me laugh. But Benjer.
Real quick,
I
Benji,
think-
I want to
Yeah.
call out in the chat. The Jake the Nerd is saying, anybody want the Doctor to show up and be utterly overwhelmed by the zaniness? And then I don't know if Matt is continuing with a joke here, or maybe I'm wrong. I thought Jake meant the Doctor from Voyager because he got the Cerritos drop in Prodigy season 2, but now maybe it is the Doctor of Doctor Who.
Honestly, it could be either, and honestly, I think it fits both ways. I would
Yeah.
love to have that. Yeah.
They were looking for a way.
Yeah. Anyway, subscribe on YouTube and join us in the chat. Benji,
Yeah.
hopes for season 5.
Well, I think, like, I mean, all props to them. They kind of answered my hopes a little bit from what I've seen in the trailer. My big thing is that I really want to see Mariner put in a situation where she is in command in some capacity. I think that sort of would be like the culmination of her character, and see, you know, being able to see where she's gone, because I have always believed that Mariner has to be the boss. I don't think she can work for somebody else. I think whatever she does, she either has to be the head of a department or commanding her own little ship or something, but I'd like to see her put into some kind of command situation. or see her in the future, but we do get this alternate Mariner that we see in the trailer, so maybe that's answered there a little bit. And also answer to the trailer, I really wanted to see what happened to our Klingon character from Wage Dooge. And it seemed like there were also maybe supposed to be like some broader implications for the Klingon Empire. So I don't know if that'll be addressed, but at least if we touch base with that character, that will make me very, very happy. Trevor,
give us your hopes for season 5 and then
and
run
Rigel.
us into those tallies.
So Rigel's hopes for season 5 is some sort of callback to Porthos and his descendants. And then I would like to see, like Matt, I would like a good ending that could potentially continue, but doesn't have to. So no cliffhangers, please. But also don't wrap it up so well that it's just done. I'm a sucker for a flash forward, as we discussed during our Discovery finale conversation. So a fun flash forward would be fantastic as well. And I don't know, the Harry Kim is fun, and I like that little shtick. But like, throw in some other folks that maybe we haven't gotten to see and that they haven't teased yet, but that would just be fun. I don't know, Ta'ana and Pulaski having a fun conversation would be cool. I can think of a few others. Go ahead, Matt.
Commander Gates.
Commander going in a full circle moment. If you missed our intention setter, Commander Gates would be lovely, or any of the, frankly, an entire ship or an entire fleet commanded by all of the former ensigns of the week from TNG would be brilliant as well.
I think that would be, and also as the last fun fact of the night about Ensign Gates, she and her husband in real life won the Amazing Race.
What?
She literally. She competed in the Amazing Race and won with her former husband. She also was a stand-in for Iman during the Star Trek. What Star Trek was that? Six. And was in several of the promos. She is actually a lot more badass than you would expect her to be. So found that out for the night.
Patreon perk.
Yeah, we'll do a deep dive. We'll do a deep dive in Ensign Gates specifically for our $5 a month viewers.
Tune in at a date to be determined for more about Ensign Gates and her career. Moving right into the scorecard. Yes. Okay. I think this is a tie for the record. So congratulations.
Somebody say something gay and problematic.
Prolapse.
My whole film.
Problematic gay alert.
I'm in love with Boimler, and I want Ensign Boimler inside me.
Problematic gay alert.
Ensign Gates. More like Ensign Gapes.
No.
No.
I don't like that for her.
Yeah, and ending on a real high, Matt. Thank you.
Okay, so we set a record tonight with 12 problematic gay alerts. Congratulations, bitches.
Woo!
Love y'all more than my luggage. Mean it. Will landed the ship once. Congrats.
You did. Thank you so
Once
much.
is all it takes if you do it right. Bonus points.
It doesn't come back up.
Put yourself on mute, goddammit. Bonus points. 500 bonus points to Joshua Zeller for awesome random Twitter interactions. I promised you some points a couple days ago. There they are. You're welcome. 2,000 bonus points to Matt for pre-show dark humor. You know what I mean. 75,000 bonus points to Jake for recruiting in the potty. A million bonus points to Benji for there are 5 gays. It was a brilliant comment. It was well timed. Loved it. Mean it. And for Sohail, I gave bonus points for recruiting followers with his penis. I gave him, 6.5.
And that is one more problematic
gay alert.
Y'all, this has been delightful. Star Trek Lower Decks season 5, sadly the final season, it starts next week. I believe there are 2 episodes next week. We will be here discussing them 6:30 p.m. Pacific next Thursday. Until then, please like and subscribe in all of the places. We are at Salon Trek on Patreon. We've got a free tier, a $2 or a $5 tier if you want to support us and engage with some fun additional content. At Salon Trek here on YouTube, Spotify, Blue Sky, and the Hellscape, formerly known as Twitter. Find us in all those places and more. Please enjoy yourselves. Get out and vote. Vote for Kamala and Dems all the way down. Let's get a Congress that she can work with and get some good shit going. 19 days left. And until then, may everyone live long and prosper. Yes.
All hands abandon ship. Proceed to the nearest evacuation zone immediately.